emergency broadcast.
We're sorry. All circuits are busy now. Will you please try your call again later?
Hello YouTube preppers, this is the Comms Prepper, and I'm slowly getting the shack put together here at the new Homestead in Virginia. I got the MyCom radio set back up, I got my tuner set up, my new SCS Pactor 4 modem for HF email, and the Signal Link USB audio interface also for data communications. And I've been charging up my handheld radios, getting them ready, putting the things back in the bags. But the project we're going to work on this weekend, and I've already got started with, is how am I going to mount the antenna to the roof here at the new Homestead location. So my idea is to use PVC piping and some elbows and make a penetration in the roof to mount a 2-meter antenna to. So I drew a little thing here on the whiteboard. I bought a whiteboard. We'll call this the Comms Prepper Studios here. And I'll go over here and I'll point out what we're going to do, and then I'll take you outside and actually show you the pieces. We're actually going to install this tomorrow. I got somebody coming to help me. But what I'm doing here is, this is the schematic symbol for an antenna, and it comes with brackets connected to an 1.5" Schedule 40 PVC pipe with a cap, coming to an 1.5" sanitation tee with a 90-degree elbow, connected again to an 1.5" Schedule 40 PVC pipe that goes through a rubber boot flashing. I can't think of the name of it right now, but all your vent pipes on roofs have them. And that'll come down with a 1.5" PVC bracket, which will be bolted to the rafter to keep it solid and stable, which will come down to the floor in this space back in here to a 2x6 with an 1.5" hole drilled out, screwed into the deck to hold it in place so it doesn't twist or slip out from underneath. And how this will work is the antenna cable will come down, we'll have a drip loop, so any water running down the cable will drip off onto the roof, and then the cable will come up into the 90-degree down the sanitation tee, completely waterproof, and then exit through a hole back in here to come over here, and I'll wire it up to a 2-meter radio. I'm also going to put a 35-watt solar panel out on the roof next to this and bring that cable up through this 90 again so water can't get back up into the house. And I'll take the HF antenna out of the window I showed in previous videos and mount it and bring it up through here as well. So this should be a good weatherproof approach to keep the water out, and a good stable base for a smaller, lightweight 2-meter antenna, and allow me to bring my HF antenna in and the power for my solar panel. So I'll pause here and we'll take the camera outside and actually show you the parts. Alright guys, well here's the piece of pipe that will penetrate the roof and get mounted to the floor in that storage area upstairs above the garage. There's the vent pipe flashing with the rubber boot on there, and that's good for an 1.5" pipe. And there's the bracket that I'll use to mount this pipe to the rafter just inside the roof line to keep it stable. The only piece you don't see here is the 2x6. And then there's the sanitation tee with the 90-degree elbow on there, and the coax coming down from the antenna, creating the drip loop so water won't follow the cable back up into the house. And the cable comes out, and then we come up with another piece of 1.5" Schedule 40 PVC, and there's the mount for the antenna. And this is a tram 2-meter antenna. I purchased this at Ham Radio Outlet with 3 ground planes, and of course that has a 1.5" Schedule 40 PVC cap on the top to keep water from going down the center of the pipe. So once we get this section of pipe here inserted and measured, a big chunk of that will get cut off, and I spray painted this brown to match the color of the shingles. I didn't spray paint the top because that's where I have to put the primer and the glue to glue the 2 pieces of PVC together. And what we'll do is we'll fish this piece of coax down through that pipe before we mount it. It'll be a little clumsy on the roof. And then the inside of that sanitation tee is not painted. We'll put the primer and the PVC glue on that. First we'll slip the coax down, and I'll put some cardboard or something around the cable to protect it from the glue and the primer. And we'll slip that down into the pipe, mount the pipe, make it solid, put the clamp on, make sure the flashing there is installed correctly and sealed up. And once that's all done, then we'll slowly glue that and slide that down onto the piece of pipe, locking it in place. Give it a few twists left and right till the glue sets, and that'll give me a nice 2-meter whip antenna for my VHF operation. I'm not a big user of UHF. I have a radio that does it, but I really don't use it. I primarily like to use HF and VHF. I never caught the UHF bug. And there's a set screw that holds that on there, and I put some antenna sealer, gloppy, like silly putty stuff on there just to keep the water from running down inside that screw and getting inside the connector there. Just a little preventative maintenance there, a little extra effort to keep it watertight. So that's that project there. We'll get this finished tomorrow, and we should be on the air with 2-meter operations, and maybe I'll be able to do some 2-meter packet. If you've been following my channel for a while, you might remember this car here. We had this in Russia, and I did a video installing a NMO mount for an antenna there. Well, I'll insert a picture during this video and show you when they dropped it off this week after it got shipped back. It was completely pried back and snapped off. So bad that the hole there was so buggered up I couldn't install a new antenna. There's a good example of using a NMO hole plug. If you ever have a car and you drill a hole and then you had to take the antenna out to sell it or trade it, these are those 3/4 inch hole plugs you can buy to plug those holes to create a watertight seal. So I cleaned the hole up the best I could and made sure it was flush and filed off the sharp edges, and I snapped that hole plug in there. So that's the project here. We'll get the rest of this up tomorrow, and we'll do a short video on the installation there, but that's the configuration I'm going to use to install my 2-meter antenna for my VHF 2-meter operations. And as always, thank you for watching my videos and subscribing to my channel. This has been the Comms Prepper with part 1 of my 2-meter antenna mounting.